On June 21st, a U.S. drone known as Global Hawk appeared in the Taiwan Strait, challenging the bottom line of the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. The combination of U.S. drones and Taiwanese missiles may pose a lethal threat to the CCP. On June 21st, the Twitter account callsign, known to monitor the movement of U.S. military business jets, tweeted that the Global Hawk identification code UAVGH000 was spotted circling back and forth between the northern and southern boundaries of the unofficial middle line of the Taiwan Strait. The Ministry of National Defense of Taiwan didn't comment on callsign CANUK78's tweet. However, they have affirmed that everything around the Taiwan Strait remains normal and under control. The CCP has remained silent, similar to the last time U.S. aircraft entered Taiwan's airspace. RQ-4 Global Hawk is an unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, used in the U.S. Air Force and Navy and produced by Northrop Grumman. With the Hughes Integrated Search and Investigation System, the Global Hawk can detect moving targets within a radius of 100 kilometers and shoot videos and images within a radius of 20 to 110 kilometers. To put it in perspective, that means one could remotely control the Global Hawk from Maine, record the entire 370 by 370 kilometer or similarly 230 by 230 mile area of downtown Los Angeles for 24 hours and fly home. With a cruising radius of 3,000 kilometers, a non-stop runtime of 38 to 42 hours, and a surveillance range exceeding the entire Korean peninsula, the 31 Global Hawk aircrafts in the U.S. Air Force have helped carry out intelligence, monitoring, and reconnaissance missions around the clock. To monitor CCP aircraft, the United States deployed Global Hawks in South Korea and Japan back in April and May of this year. On April 19th, the U.S. ambassador to Korea, Harry Harris, tweeted photos of the Global Hawks arriving in South Korea, confirmed by the South Korean Defense Ministry that it will soon be put into actual combat deployment. Interestingly, there has been more news about airplanes these days, from Taiwan to Iran. On June 22nd, Taiwan's first self-produced Advanced Jet Training Higher Education Aircraft, AJT, successfully flew for the first time. Taiwan President Ing-wen later made a speech at the scene, reminding that many people originally questioned whether Taiwan could build its own aircraft, and advocated that it should be more cost-effective to purchase directly from abroad. Yet after 31 years since Taiwan's first flight with a national IDF fighter, this historic moment marks a new frontier of self-sufficiency. Tai stresses, however, that all the difficulties that were overcome and the results that were achieved in the past 4 years were thanks to the cooperation of the Air Force, the Aerospace Industrial Development Corporation, the National Chongshan Institute of Science and Technology, and all upstream and downstream manufacturers. All of them, Tai asserts, have rebuilt the confidence in both research and development capabilities of Taiwan Aerospace. On June 20th, the Iranian Fars News Agency reported new raw footage revealing the Global Hawk drone being tracked and shot down. This was released by the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard, IRGC, on the first annual anniversary of the drone's annihilation in 2019. In it, the footage shows a U.S. military RQ-4 Global Hawk drone taking off from its base at the southern Persian Gulf during the early morning of June 20th. 2019, to carry out reconnaissance missions in Iran. On the way back, however, the drone was shot down at 4:05 a.m. local time by the Iranian defense system after entering Iranian airspace near the Strait of Hormuz. The Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Aerospace Force responsible for the drone's elimination may have been influenced by the CCP to disclose such footage at this particular timing. On January 3, 2020, the U.S. military used several drones to kill the Iranian Holy City Brigade commander Soleimani at the Baghdad airport. It was at 10:30 p.m. local time on January 2nd that a U.S. unmanned reconnaissance aircraft discovered Soleimani had flown from Damascus to Baghdad. In response, the U.S. sent two MQ-9 Reaper drones located in Qatar Air Base and armed with Hellfire missiles to fly 1,100 kilometers to Baghdad. Arriving at 12:05 a.m., the U.S. reconnaissance plane confirmed that Soleimani arrived in the cargo terminal at the Baghdad airport. As Soleimani and other high-level commanders left the airport in a Toyota SUV at 12:27 a.m., the U.S. Reaper drone tracked the convoy onto the airport highway. And soon after locking on target, it fired two Hellfire missiles, hitting the two vehicles and blasting the wreckage up to 100 meters. As news about the death of the high-ranking Iranian officers became available at 1 a.m., Soleimani's body was found soon after by tracing his signature red ring. The attack carried out on Soleimani was done in front of a computer screen by a drone operator all the way at Nevada Air Force Base, 11,000 kilometers away. Learning this, senior CCP officials in Beijing immediately called an emergency meeting, likely to discuss defense from the US drones. However, US military experts revealed that the CCP is unable to effectively defend against this. Shi Zhangshan, an expert on China issues in Washington, explains that the US military's recent flyby at the Taiwan Straits border with the Global Hawk drones sent a strong warning to the CCP. If the CCP ever dares to invade Taiwan by force, the US military will use drones to deal with the CCP just as was done in Baghdad. Recently, the United States Republican Study Committee, a group of about 150 conservative lawmakers, proposed a sanction plan on CCP high-ranking officials, among which Han Zheng and Wang Yang, members of the CCP's Politburo, are named. Han, for one, has over $3 billion in illegal assets overseas and a mistress with an illegitimate child in Australia. Chinese netizens commented, it would not be surprising if the US military commanded drones to kill high-ranking Chinese officials like Han Zheng. Others said, no wonder every time Beijing officials meet, air control is required. It's because they're afraid of American drones.